interlinked. But we see also that this traditional knowledge and practices has a gender differentiated face. It has the face of women and it has the face of men. Both are needed in order to successfully achieve all of the goals of the Convention on Biological Diversity. Our next segment is going to be Ms. Sister from the Philippines. She will be talking to us on the integration of the gender dimension in social, environmental, and cultural indicators.
Good afternoon. I'm from the Philippines and I'm part of an organization or a federation of rural and indigenous women in the Philippines. And I'm also part of the widow team here. We work on issues relating to access and control of rural and indigenous women on basic livelihood resources such as water, land, and related issues impacting on the lives and their rights. For example, climate change. On the ground, we undertake education and awareness on the importance of biodiversity-based ecological agriculture as an alternative to chemical-based agriculture, which has resulted in the loss of agricultural biodiversity for the past several decades. We undertake as well biodiversity conservation programs, specifically on rice, because rice is the staple food of the Filipinos, and also medicinal plants, emphasizing the need for farmers, particularly women farmers, who are the real custodians of these rice seeds and traditional plants, to continue keeping their best practices on this. We have been undertaking documentation on biodiversity conservation practices of rural and indigenous women, as well as adaptation mechanisms on extreme weather events brought about by climate change. And we have been very clear in our documentation that women are the frontline casualties of these events, but in their hands also lay the various keys to the solution in addressing and adapting to these weather events, which are devastating the sources of food and livelihood of people in the rural communities. In 2009, when Philippines experienced a 9-month drought, it was not so much a problem with rural and indigenous women because they had their traditional seeds and their traditional plants to depend on. But while we continue to say this in our country, our government is so slow in taking cognizance of these important roles of women and this reality. They continue to be slow in realizing this reality, or worse, continue to ignore it as a reality at all. A farmer, for example, in the Philippines is still, in the eyes of the government, is still a man. And the woman is a mere housewife doing nothing at home. When in reality, women, apart from doing household work and caring for the family, including the elderly, are performing significant roles in the farm, keeping the seeds, ensuring food security for their families. These realities are not captured and used as a basis for the formulation of biodiversity targets and indicators and objectives. It is in this context that we emphasize the need for governments to create an enabling environment for this work that the women do. We press the governments to adopt a gender framework in all planning and policy-making endeavors, starting with a clear sex-segregated data as a basis for their policies and policy formulation, planning and implementation of programs related to biodiversity targets and programs at the national level. We say that only when women are accurately accounted in national statistics and that this data subsequently used in planning and formulation of biodiversity development indicators will we ensure that women will not be left out in development, that women will benefit from the fruits of development and in the utilization of biodiversity conservation programs, women will not continue to be poor, because as we always say, the face of the, particularly in the Asia Pacific, we say the face of hunger continue to be the face of a woman. Only when we accurately account the women in national statistics can we ensure that the women are utilized as a valuable human resource, a significant resource and indispensable in all development undertaking in all countries, and parties in the CBD, in the Convention on Biodiversity, should pursue and should include this in their objectives and in their list of indicators. And secondly, in achieving this, in accounting of the actual and important roles of women in biodiversity issues, in various biodiversity issues and concerns, the role of women's organizations at all levels, community, national, regional, and international, should be recognized, and partnership with this group should be deemed very vital. So as we end the COP 11 of the CBD this week, we look forward to outputs which effectively incorporates the gender perspectives and the gender framework in all its documents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tess. I think that this CBD is all about implementation. And implementation, proper implementation, cannot be measured if we don't have these indicators, if we don't have sex disaggregated data. Among the decisions that are being discussed now is the consolidation of an expert group to be able to develop these gender indicators. So we hope that parties can support the creation of such expert groups and continue this process that will lead to a gender-responsive implementation of the Convention on Biological Diversity. Our next speaker is Ms. Monadata from India.
Hi, I'm Monadata from India. I'm a school teacher by profession, and I'm thankful for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you. I'm going to speak on capacity building, and that's exactly what is happening here with me. If I wasn't invited by you to attend this conference, I don't know what learning I would have acquired from where I was. So, reading out the definition from where I have picked up, and then I will explain what it means to you. Capacity building basically is human resource development, which is a process of equipping individuals with understanding skills and access to information, knowledge, and training. If you are provided a certain amount of information, but you are not able to understand it, take it in, and it is irrelevant to you, there is no capacity building that happens. I could be here